Hello, I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Brianna Jones.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew and Brie to like musical theater. How are you guys doing today?
Well, actually, my podcasting voice got stolen, so we're actually going to have to do a narrative this episode. We can't do Musicals with Cheese.
Okay. Oh, do you remember that one time that you and I tried to do a podcast about the show by Jeeves, Andrew?
Ah, yes, that was an interesting story. Could you start?
Yes. We were sitting down at our podcasting table, just kind of like this, and we're all going to sit down. And Brianna was there, but you know what? Let's have an actress portray Brianna. Bring in Uma Thurman.
Yes, excellent. Good choice.
Hello, Uma Thurman. How are you doing? Hello, Brianna. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing well.
My God, Uma Thurman is a fantastic actress.
I remember it started, I introduced myself as Jess.
Oh yeah, this is Jess, by the way. This is Jess. Uma Thurman, Brie. And my name is Andrew DeWolf.
Actually, hang on. You're actually Brie.
Oh, I'm Brie now. Okay. Yes, I'm Brie. And oh no, Jake has walked in the room, and he's asking who we are. And it turns out I'm Andrew again.
But we don't want someone else to find out. I hate this show.
This show is garbage. This week we're talking about By Jeeves, a Patreon request from Joseph Evans Green, in case you haven't figured it out. Cue the fucking music, Brie.
By gad,
by gosh,
by heck,
by gum,
by rabbit's foot,
by kingdom come, by all my sainted aunt believes,
by George, by Jove, by Jeeves.
If the intro wasn't funny, don't blame us.
Because we're hurting my head.
Yeah, try watching the musical.
Don't want to.
Yeah, best. You're making better choices than we are. So, By Jeeves is a musical with a book by Alan Ackerborn and music and lyrics by Andrew Lloyd Webber and Andrew Lloyd Webber and Alan Ackerborn, based on Jeeves stories by P.G. Wodehouse. So I'm gonna take a dive back in history. How about this?
Yeah.
So this was Andrew Lloyd Webber's original follow-up to Jesus Christ Superstar, if you think about it. So originally Tim Rice, who he did Superstar and Evita with and Joseph with, conceived the idea of turning the Jeeves stories into a musical. He was to work with Andrew Lloyd Webber on creating it, but Tim Rice backed out of the project. Eventually, Lloyd Webber teamed up with famed British playwright Alan Ackerborn, and the two of them began work with the personal blessing of Wodehouse. So the director was Eric Thompson, who's actually the father of Emma Thompson. He was fired right before the opening, so Ackerborn took over himself and just directed the show right before it opens. It received horrible reviews and closed after a little over a month after 38 performances. Several critics noted that the authors failed to develop the title character, Jeeves, not even having a solo song. It was so bad, so terrible, that when he was trying to figure out where the Phantom of the Opera was going, he did not want to play at the Her Majesty's Theater because he thought it was cursed. Okay, so the original cast album was recorded and released, but is extremely hard to find because Lloyd Webber, reportedly acting on the advice of American theater director Harold Prince, withdrew the recording in order to be able to reuse some of the musical material in subsequent shows because it had so little of value. So that was the first time Andrew Lloyd Webber tried to make a Jeeves musical, all right? That is not the show we watched, Andrew.
Has anyone found that original cast album?
I'm sure it's somewhere. The internet's a magical place. So in 1996, Lloyd Webber and Ackerborn decided to try it again, jettisoning basically the entirety of the score and the entire book and retitled By Jeeves to avoid association with the previous flop version. It reopened on the 1st of May 1996 at the Stephen Joseph Theater in the Round in Scarborough. Audience reaction was generally enthusiastic, so the show moved to July 2nd, 1996, to London for a 12-week season at the fairly intimate Duke's York Theatre. The show turned out to be even more popular than first thought, and the run was extended to February 1997, where the show moved to the Lyric Theatre in Shaftesbury Avenue. It had a short run on Broadway at the Helen Hayes Theatre from October 28, 2001 to the 30th of December 2001 for 73 performances. So, This show was never really it was not a Phantom. It was not a smash hit. I wouldn't really even call it the Woman in White or School of Rock levels. Do you want to know what the plot is, Andrew? Or how about you describe the plot for us? What is the plot of By Jeeves?
I know the plot of By Jeeves.
Okay, tell me the plot of By Jeeves.
All right. Okay. So there's this guy who is a banjo playing star apparently, and everyone is in the audience is there to see a banjo concert, right? Like that's the start of the show. Yeah. But actually we're not, because there is no banjo. The banjo's been stolen. So then his faithful servant Jeeves comes out and is like, "Oh, actually, you should do a narrative instead." So then they do this narrative where, oh Lord,
tell us what the narrative, Andrew, is, please.
Oh Lord, I've been trying to avoid this part. Okay, so he is the main guy.
Wooster.
Guy number 1, Wooster. You can't use their names to keep track of them though. So guy number 1, Wooster, whose actual name is Wooster, claims to a judge to be guy number 2, who is what is his name? Like oh my goodness. Finster or something like
Chucky
that.
Finster.
Chucky Finster. And he says to a judge that he's Chucky Finster, but Chucky Finster is in love with the judge's daughter.
Stinker Pinker.
Okay.
Got it put in the stink and the pink. Like he really messed up.
Damn. Okay, so Stinker is in love with the judge's daughter, so Stinker tells her she knows that he's actually Stinker, but the father, he told that he's Wooster because why he would use the name of the other, I don't know. So
are you following this, Brie?
The judge thinks that Wooster
Who's
is
Wooster?
Wooster's the main character that wants his banjo.
Wooster's the main character.
Okay.
The judge thinks that Wooster is actually Stinker, but he thinks Stinker is Wooster.
This judge's daughter is a prop, basically.
The judge's
Oh.
daughter is a prop that they're fighting over.
No wonder why she's not on the original.
So then the judge comes over, and he's like, he comes over to Wooster's house, but Stinker tells the judge that it's his house. So the judge comes over, and Wooster is hiding in a coat rack, and the judge is like, "Oh dang,
We're not
that
even
coat
20
rack,
minutes into this musical either.
that coat rack is talking." And
Oh, no.
and then Wooster comes out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm Stinker. Bye," and then he leaves. And
Andrew, do you think it would be easier if I just read what Playbill describes the show as?
if you want to, I'm trying to explain the plot here, though. But I mean, sure.
I mean, I feel like we're all lost in the plot right now. Like, so Wooster. All right, so I'm just gonna read, and then Bree, can you try to surmise what Andrew just said?
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't even get more than
Wooster.
like 10 minutes in.
You
Wooster, the main character.
didn't. Yes, you're good so far. You got it so far.
Wooster, the main character. And we got Stinker Pinker or what?
All right, you're already lost.
Oh.
See, Wooster needs his banjo because he's supposed to be putting on a banjo performance. But then Jeeves comes out and he's like, hey, your banjo isn't here yet. It'll take about 2.5 hours. How about we put on a little show for these people? And he recounts the story about when he faked identities. And then comes Harold Pinker. He's like, I need to pretend to be you, Wooster. And then Wooster's like, I don't know about, okay, I guess. And then the judge comes in and he's like, you're a coat rack, Wooster. And he's like, no, I'm not Wooster, I'm Pinker. And then Pinker's like, I'm Wooster. So mistaken identities, all that. You kind of follow where that is. All right, Andrew, continue.
Oh, okay, I'm keep going. Okay.
Keep going. Because I feel like we just had to sum up where we are at this point.
Yeah,
Okay,
there was
okay.
a lot going on for a second. We're good.
Yeah. So then he goes into his car and he's going to the judge's house, and I don't quite understand why he's doing this.
Who is doing this?
Jess?
Wooster is
Wooster.
doing it.
Wooster. Okay,
Real Wooster,
just-
not fake Wooster.
Why is Wooster going to the judge's house? I don't think I caught that.
So they can make a joke about making the motor noises with his mouth.
Okay, so he's just... There's no reason for him to go. Okay, as every character is going to the judge's house.
Yeah, we're
I
all-
don't understand it. But,
Is there
okay.
a party going on? I feel like that makes sense, right?
Yeah, there must be. But they're all sleeping there too. But Every character's going to the judge's house. So if I mention a character, assume that they're going to the judge's house.
Okay.
So then Wooster is driving his car, and he accidentally hits somebody who is his friend, and this guy's name is Stuart Little. He's a mouse. I think his name actually is Little,
His
though.
name's Bingo Little.
Bingo Little. So he is doing a walk for hedgehogs. It's a charity walk for hedgehogs. And his girlfriend is also doing a charity walk for hedgehogs. But he needs to catch up. So Wooster agrees to give him a lift, but then he also somehow ends up also giving the girlfriend a lift. But the guy is hiding in the back, so the girlfriend doesn't know. But the girlfriend also used to be Wooster's girlfriend. So the girlfriend is hitting on Wooster the whole time. So then Little gets angry at him because... angry at Wooster.
I know why Wooster's going to the judge's house, because it says that he's engaged to Stiffy, whoever the girl that's his friend, but not his girlfriend, and he wants to be like, hey, what's going on here? So he wants to talk to her about it. That's why he's going to the house.
Okay, why is she at the judge's house?
I think that's where she lives.
Why does everyone live at the judge's house?
I don't know,
okay,
Andrew.
Whatever.
British people are fucking weird, and they love this for some reason.
So then everybody gets out of the car. But everyone's mad at Wooster now. Everyone's mad at Wooster. So then he goes to the judge's house, and he meets this American man who's the best character in the show.
Yeah, the best character, the most interesting.
By
fun.
far the best character. Has all of the best stuff.
Has the mustache.
Has the mustache. Has the best song. Has all the best stuff. But he's also kind of a little creepy, so he's not really the best character. But okay, well, it's fine. It's fine.
He's fun in a Gaston sort of way.
Yeah, he's the villain. So. He meets this American guy, and the American guy is like, oh, I'm in love with this girl, and it's the judge's daughter who, and he's like,
and he doesn't.
I want to.
It's the judge's daughter, but the announcement just said in the paper that Wooster was engaged to the judge's daughter, which is his real name. So he gives a different name so he won't get his ass kicked by this American. So he gives Little's name.
You have it wrong. You have it wrong.
Do I?
Yeah.
This is.
He gives Little's name later. He gives his real name at first.
You're right.
So he gives his real name at first, and for some reason, the guy, even though I assume he would have talked to the judge, but I guess he got it directly from the daughter, and the daughter actually told him that she was dating Stinker. So he's like, man, I want to beat the crap out of this Stinker guy if I ever meet him. And okay.
So they're all lying to each other. You following that we're just lying about each other's
It's really
names.
great. I want everyone to remember, though, that these are all characters that are introduced at the start of the show as different characters, too. So these characters all have, like, 3 names.
Just what's the fast version? We're getting to the end of Act 1 eventually, right?
All right, we're here. So now it's just like, oh, the judge comes out, and they all change names. Eventually, everybody is everybody else's name. The Wooster is Little, and all this. And then somebody approaches Wooster and is like, man, you gotta pretend to rob the house.
Yeah.
It just out of nowhere.
Yeah, that felt weird.
You gotta pretend to rob the house. And then he's like, oh man, I guess I have to pretend to rob the house.
And he wears
so
a pig mask.
Yeah, and then they're all chasing the pig around the house. And it's not funny, and it's horrible. And then he goes outside, and Jeeves breaks the fourth wall and is just like, oh, actually, the American guy gets framed for this. Haha. You get off scot-free. Cool. And then they're like, oh, the banjo's here. And they give him the banjo, and he doesn't play the banjo, and I literally want to die. It's like the worst ending in everything. They don't even play the banjo. I waited 2 hours to hear the banjo song. They don't even play the fucking banjo. Like, why would you do this to me?
It's the longest no lube hand job you've ever gotten, and right when you're about to go, they just let go.
It's like, are you kidding me? You start it by telling me there's gonna be a banjo, and then immediately, rug pulled, I don't get a banjo. End of it, I see the banjo, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to hear the banjo song.
Actually,
at least that'll be funny.
Actually, I'm changing my analogy. It's a no lube hand job, and right when you're about to finish, they stab you.
It's very accurate. This is extremely accurate.
So
and I hate it. I didn't like it. I couldn't follow it well because they didn't want me to follow it. And the only time I laughed was when the American guy was shaking hands with everybody, because that was kind of funny.
I laughed once, a grand total of once. When Jeeves is like setting up the time, he's like, it is 9:30 and it's like bright sunny PM, and then they change it to night. That was the one joke I laughed at.
Okay, I laughed when they said the American guy was sticky because he's covered in jam. I thought that was kind of funny. And I thought it was sort of funny when they convinced the American guy that British people just reintroduce themselves every single day, because that just feels like something British people actually would do.
So, Bree, what do you think of that story? Could you follow it?
I understand it. I understand big picture. Everybody is confused. No one's confused. Everybody's switching names. And
The
there's no
audience
Banjo.
is confused.
The audience is
I didn't
confused.
even. And did you notice something in that story? There's an absent person that I didn't really even bring up in the plot that much.
Could it be Jeeves?
Where the fuck is Jeeves? So Jeeves just exists as like a narrator character, and the only joke is like the entire time is the Wooster guy will be like, "Wait, what's happening?" And then Jeeves will be like, "This is happening, sir." And then that's like the only joke. They just do that like 50,000 times during the entire thing.
It's horrible. It sounds horrible.
It was a rough watch, and I wanted it to end. I had to watch this in like 20-minute increments because I had to walk away and do something that actually made me feel good, made me feel like a human being for a little bit. You know, it just
You
made...
poor things.
I know, like, there are some people out there that are like, man, I have to do, like, manual labor for a job, or, this. I had to watch By Jeeves, so honestly, kiss my ass.
You know what, though? I don't think this is the worst Webber thing we've covered.
Well, we're going to make you do a tier list. Oh, yeah, this is an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, this is the least Lloyd Webber musical. Like, the songs feel so separate from what's going on.
I wouldn't have known if I didn't get told, to be honest.
It feels so wrong.
I hate it.
End of statement.
It's all like, I've made complaints before. It's like, man, this show had too many characters. I couldn't follow it. And then this show comes and is like, oh, hold my beer. You're not gonna follow this shit.
Even me reading the Wikipedia page right now, I'm like, fuck, what? I'm lost.
It's like you could have written like a time travel plot and it would have made more sense.
I understood Donnie Darko more than I understood By Jeeves.
Oh man, I can follow Donnie Darko. I get what's going on there.
Big talking bunny.
Yeah.
All right. So
What else is there to say?
it's time for previews. Previews.
It's time for previews. It's time for previews.
How about we hear what Ben Brantley had to say about By Jeeves? See if we agree with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bree, what did Ben Brantley have to say? Let's see if he agrees with us.
Okay, Ben Brantley, in his 1996 review for the New York Times, wrote that there's not a hydraulic lift in evidence at the pocket-sized Norma Terrace Theater of the Goodspeed Opera House, the unlikely setting for the latest import from Andrew Lloyd Webber, the king of the monster musical. There's not even a painted backdrop to conceal the bare brick walls, which would appear to confirm Mr. Lloyd Webber's belief in his recent assertion that the party's over for the spectacle-driven musical. Here's what I look like without makeup, the show seems to be saying. Take me as I am. It poses a burning historical question. Can a Lloyd Webber show fly if the scenery doesn't?
No.
Man, he is overthinking this like a lot.
He put more thought into this than we did.
So there's no backdrop or anything in the musical?
Not really. It's just
Is there like
The-
a set at all?
the idea of it is that there isn't a set because they're doing the show on the fly, because it was supposed to be a Banjo concert.
that's the stupidest sentence we've ever said on the show.
That's what it is, though.
I know, but it's not every day you've said the stupidest thing you've ever said, but you just said it, Andrew. It's done on the fly because there was supposed to be a Banjo concert.
When are they getting to the Banjo concert?
The best twist ending would have been Steve Martin coming out, and then it's just Bright Star.
They just played Bright Star.
Continue, Bree.
Okay. For the moment, the answer is, at best, a qualified yes. A reworking of Mr. Lloyd Webber's and Mr. Ackborn Jeeves, a well-dressed flop in London in 1975. The musical turns Woodhouse artfully spun narratives of aristocrat dim-wittedness into vaudevillain slapstick, and like the amateur theatrics it parodies, it often strains to entertain.
Yeah, you're getting there. You got there, Ben Brantley. Strains is an understatement.
Much of what makes the Jeeves story so comforting is that they are tales told by an idiot, the rich, slothful Bertie Wooster, who is utterly dependent on his peerless manservant Jeeves. Even when the action is frenzied, Bertie's voice isn't. It's endearingly fuzzy, suggesting a cushion of languor, money, and good old stupidity between him and the world. Take away that voice, and what's left is more primitive comedy of the Benny Hill variety. The cast members are appealingly game as they scramble through a frantic plot of mistaken identities, but they can also be unappealingly shrill.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, the show sucks. Fuck you, Ben Brantley, for being as slightly positive as you were.
He was slightly positive, wasn't he?
He was trying.
Yeah.
I think he might have felt like he had to be nice because it was Lloyd Webber. I don't know.
Probably.
Well, he was like, Lloyd Webber's trying something new, and I don't want to talk him out of doing something new.
Yeah.
Because God, it's better than Cats.
He didn't have to get talked out of it, though, to be honest.
I mean, Jeeves, this was a passion project. He's been wanting to do this since the 70s. Think about this. This was a passion project.
What goes on in that man's mind?
Not much. Other people's music.
Oh man, we didn't even bring up the Wizard of Oz stuff at the end.
Oh God. Let's hold on that for a minute. Let's keep on previews for a second. It's time for a letterboxd game of 1 star or 5 stars. Bree, Andrew, you're going head to head again. Back to the old classics. Boy. So, would you believe By Jeeves does have a letterboxd account? There ain't many reviews, but there's a couple.
I don't believe it, but sure.
All right, it's time. All right, Bree, you're on first.
Okay.
Yeah, go on. Pretend this is actually any good.
1 star.
That is correct. Andrew.
Yeah.
How do you do? How do you do? How do you do? How do you do?
They're actually quoting the show. Oh boy. 5 stars?
That is correct.
Nice.
Someone gave it 5 stars. Is that Ben Brantley? Who knows?
I felt like I was taking a big risk with that because somebody giving it 5 stars is like, woof.
All right, Bree, you ready?
Yes.
Jeeves wouldn't do this.
Oh. 1 star.
That is correct. Andrew, you ready?
Yeah.
This is the hard one. Part of The Show Must Go On, which was Andrew Lloyd Webber's pandemic thing where he would air all of his musicals live onto YouTube.
So he aired all of his musicals live on YouTube.
Yeah, he did Cats. He did like everything that had a recorded production.
And this is the only comment is that it was part of it.
Yes.
My gut says 1 star.
Your gut was correct. All right, Bree, you ready?
Yes.
By Jeeves walks, so the play that goes wrong could run.
No, that's not true.
Yeah. 1 star.
That is correct. All right, Andrew, you ready?
Yeah.
It's a pig with criminal intentions.
Oh no, another quote from the show. Oh, 5 stars.
That's a 1 star. Bree. All right, we got 2 reviews left, so this is literally us at the bottom of the barrel. Here it is. I had no idea what was going on and gave up. It's no one's fault but mine because I had expectations. Sorry, Andrew Lloyd Webber. I think as well it was a story I'm not familiar with them.
1 star.
That was a 5-star. They blame themselves for not understanding the story.
That poor person needs to go to therapy.
The story was obviously perfect. The problem was me.
That is the... You're right. Andrew, the last one.
Okay.
This is a weird show. It's not that I didn't like it, but rather that it feels like it was made for 50-plus theater people drunk on wine.
1 star.
That is correct. You have tied the game.
Yay!
What a fun game. That was actually much more difficult than I expected it to be, and a lot more material than I expected it to be for Review's Letterboxd game.
I'm surprised that this had anything, but I guess they did film it, so.
And they did air it last year during the Pangea.
Oh, boy.
Honestly, I would rather get COVID-19 than watch By Jeeves. I'm kidding. No, I wouldn't.
I wish there was a vaccine for this show.
Yes, I wish there was a vaccine for By Jeeves. Speaking of wishing there was a vaccine, how about we go into a mid-show?
Sure.
Awesome. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt in the middle of the show, but we've got a shill at you! Today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon. At Patreon, you can give us some money to help us keep the lights on, keep becoming a bigger and better show for you guys. If you join us, you get a lot of fun perks, such as a weekly podcast with me and Liz Eston, where we're talking about TV shows. We're just finishing up Encore over there. We're going to start something new, and you could probably vote on what we do if you join over at Patreon at the $5 level. Also, if you give us any money, you can get the video episodes of this podcast where you get a lot of extra bits. Like, there have been times where Brie has cut lots out of episodes, and the people on Patreon are getting half hours to 45 minutes of extra material. And you're missing out on that, as well as our beautiful faces if you're not over at Patreon. Also, once a month, we have a monthly meetup where we have guests and we come and hang out on our Discord page and we play games. And it's a lot of fun. Even these two will show up and have a blast with us, and you're missing out if you're not there. But worst of all, if you are on our $20 level, or you know what, I lied. If you're at our $100 level, you get to be a guest with us eventually, and you have to force us to read a paragraph once every episode. And you know what? Joseph Evans Green both suggested this episode and wrote this paragraph. And Brianna Jones, it's your turn to read this paragraph. Are you ready?
I am.
All right. It is on your screen whenever you're ready. And remember, he paid for us to say this.
There's a star man, he plays in blue and white. His name's Yuri Tielemans, and he is dynamite. Wilfred Ndidi, he'll take the ball off of you. And finally, ooh, Jamie Vardy. Ooh, Jamie Vardy.
All right. Great job, Bree. Thank you, Joseph Evans Green, for your money. I hope that was worth it. Andrew, who's supporting us over at Patreon?
Our current patrons are Melissa Goldman, Terry Needleman, John Donna, Leighton Ackles, Danielle Rennick, Jess the Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Tess Gear, Monica Thoreau, Mina Maneri, Brent Black, Nathaniel Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Carrie Ahern, Mary Lou Choquette, John Vanals, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, Kyle Summers, Janae C., Scoot in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Liz Lim, Allison Stoller, Nothing is Certain Except Beth and Taxes, Thespian, Bren Cullen, Raphael Martinez Celeste, Robert Benjamin, Jessica T., Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, Katie McDonough, Timothy Keys, Chris Marcotte, Tamimu Robinson, Kiji Maria Anastasio, Leela, RJ Noriga, Sebastian Canino, Avon Reagan, Charlie B., Patrick Deering, Joe, Avery Brinson, Marilyn Brown, Mel Cormack, La Femme Fictionale, Bjorn Hermans, August Gorman, Mac the Knife, Erica S., Toriana Vestal, Sammy the Most Lopez, Liana Morton, and Angela.
They give us a little extra financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals with Cheese. If you'd like to join them and many others and get all those fun perks, come join us over at the Patreon. All right, let's get back to the show. Fuck, is there any songs worth talking about?
Is there any song with a banjo?
No!
No.
The entire show's disappointing.
Well,
I'm looking at these song lists.
I think the Hello song is pretty okay.
Hello again, how goes it all? Good day to you, you keeping fit? So great to meet you. It's been an age, a tiny world. How do you do?
Yeah, that's it. The Hello song.
It's fine.
It's funny that they all have to reintroduce ourselves and it keeps popping up, and every time it pops up, it kind of gives me a little bit of a dopamine rush.
Yeah, it's like probably the best song in it. Let's see, By Jeeves song is quite bad for a title song, I would say. Like surprisingly so. Like this is the one they named the show after, and it's like, wow, that's it.
By hook, by crook,
By way, by palm,
by sea, by air, by road,
by grass,
by seven dwarfs, by 40 thieves,
by George, by Jove, by Jeeves.
by shackled cock.
20 years on this Andrew Lloyd Webber.
What was it like? By Joe, by George, by something, by
Yeah.
Jeeves, by Jeeves. It's like it's not good.
They're trying to do the it was red and yellow and blue and orange thing from Joseph, but much worse.
Well, yeah, I mean Joseph is already a perfect show, so I'm not really sure how you're trying to improve on that.
Well, you know what? Joseph Evans Green has already, you know what his next Patreon request is?
What's that?
Joseph, and he has to join us for the episode.
Well, I can't wait. I remember when we watched it, it was just like it was a very long period of time of me just laughing.
Yeah, it was. It was a joy. Man, I wish we could go back to just enjoying Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals.
Yeah, it feels like we did all the good ones, and now it's just like, oof.
You mean all two of them?
Yeah.
Because what do we got left? School of Rock, the musical?
Maybe that one's okay.
I bet it'll be like Cinderella tier. Speaking of tiers, Andrew, why don't we just go into your tier list of Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals and see if anything's changed?
Oh, you don't want to talk about It's a Pig or Banjo Boy?
Well, you do want to talk about the ending really quick, don't you?
Oh, the Wizard Rainbow Banjo mix.
The golden kid that passion can't destroy. Stuff it! Whose name they shout from Maine to Illinois. That's Banjo Boy. Banjo Boy.
Yeah, go ahead, Andrew. It's all yours. Ball's in your court,
Oh,
bitch.
yeah. Oh, man. It's such a good ending. They get the banjo, and listen to this hilarious joke, okay? It's so funny. He plays the banjo, and it doesn't make any sound. And Jeeves goes, oh, that's because it's new string technology that only allows people far away from the banjo to hear it. And then he goes, oh, that's crazy. Like, I totally 100% believe that because I'm actually, like, the dumbest person alive. Like, what?
And then the Wizard of Oz people come out.
And then the Wizard of Oz people come out, and he's like, oh, we just had these costumes, and they're just the Wizard of Oz people, and it's not really explained. They just are. And it's like, wow, that's not even a joke. There isn't a joke here. That's just a reference.
Then the show ends.
Am I watching the Nostalgia Critic? Like, what am... Like,
oh, look, you guys are in costumes, and I'm playing a banjo. Let's sing SpongeBob with Slipknot.
yeah, it's like, oh, I just did this whole episode on The Wall. I guess let's end it with SpongeBob SquarePants.
I want to
Because-
die. Andrew Lloyd Webber, like, Nostalgia Critic is doing better than you at this point.
Yeah, at least most of the songs in that were related to the...
It's sad when we're giving Doug Walker more credit than Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, and I feel like at the end they also just kind of did some of the other songs like again.
Yeah, it's a mega mix, a banjo mega mix.
Yeah, and it's just like, why? Like, I feel like I got the point, like, you know, when you did it.
Not gonna lie, after the Wizard of Oz people came out, I kind of intentionally fell asleep and missed the mega mix.
Do you have
I was
a
like, I got a podcast to record
Damn.
today. I'm done paying attention.
Damn, I watched more of it than you did.
Yeah, probably.
Do you have a least favorite song?
Yeah, probably It's a Pig.
Listen, people, don't you try it.
Trying to kiss me.
I I deny it.
Oh, you swine, you!
Caught him looting.
Raise your hands or I'll start shooting!
With a badly bruised libido, exit Worcester Trey Rapido.
It's not funny, like,
That's
at
kind
all.
of what the worst part of these are. Like, the songs aren't the worst thing I've ever heard. It's not like ear pain or anything like that.
Yeah, it's more that they're not funny, and it's like supposed to be funny, and it's not.
And it's just so bland. Like, everything, at least as soon as it happens, it's like, okay, that was a nice distraction. And then you forget it. It's out of your head. You don't think about it.
Like, to be honest, I was actually like, you know, maybe they'll get the banjo and we'll get to hear a song where he plays the banjo, and that'd be kind of fun. And then they just don't, and I'm like, and your excuse for not doing it is that the joke where he's so dumb that he can't figure out that Jeeves replaced the strings with something they can't make sound.
Andrew, I can't wait until someone literally, like, only listens to this episode, decides, hey, that's my opinion. I formed my opinion on this entire nearly 200 episode podcast, and then writes a review saying, you guys just don't understand by Jeeves, and honestly, I find your opinion snobbish and terrible.
Fair enough, okay? I mean, if you love this show, go away.
Is this anyone's favorite musical?
I really sincerely hope not.
Because I did a poll on Twitter a few days ago, just because I was curious of, like, even with Cinderella, some people really do like Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cinderella, right?
I mean, I guess.
And I can understand at least why they might.
It's not the worst thing ever, though I may have said in the episode that it was.
Okay, let me tell you some of the responses I got when I was like, hey, what do you feel about By Jeeves? Which I tend to do just to get, like, what do general folks feel about a musical we're talking about, so I'm not, like, shitting on someone's favorite show without listening. One person said, it came on during lockdown when Andrew Lloyd Webber started broadcasting his shows on YouTube, and it was the first one that none of my family could sit through. I swear we got about 20 minutes in and gave up out of utter boredom.
Yeah. I mean, if I can give it any credit, and I'm not going to give it very much, it is cheesy, just not in a good way. I think that the joke of, like, very slapped together amateurish play could be funny, but I don't think it's done well here.
Okay, here's one more note from someone who responded to it, and this is from @CrunchingNoise. They said, when my dad saw that on Broadway, a stranger came up to him at intermission and said, I hope the second act's better than the first. And
it's not.
No.
That's the worst part. It's not.
Like, and then there's just so much better versions of it, like Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Like, that is like a show similar in vibe and tone to this that just does it so much better.
Well, yeah, I think the issue isn't in tone or anything like that. And honestly, even the music is mostly passable.
Yeah.
Like, the tone is good. I like the tone. Like, it's, like, very doesn't take itself seriously, goofy, like, fun. But then just all the jokes just fall completely flat. It's just, like, somehow it manages to not ever be funny. You know?
I can't wait for people to use this against us and be like, that's how I feel listening to your podcast. You just shit on my favorite musical, and somehow you guys are never funny or just mean.
Then why are you listening to us? Just go away. If you feel about our show the way that I feel about By Jeeves,
you should
not
just
be
turn
listening.
it off. Turn it off. No one should feel that way about anything they engage in.
I would never willingly watch By Jeeves again.
No. There's other Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals I really don't like that I would watch before I'd ever watch By Jeeves again. I'd watch Love Never Dies before watching By Jeeves again.
I feel like Love Never Dies has, like, some, like,
unintentionally
meme
funny
value. Yeah, whereas this is... The worst thing you can be is a bad comedy because there's just nothing. You can't even, like, make fun of how inept the comedy is. Because it's just like, man, that's just not funny.
So let's look at your Andrew Lloyd Webber tier list. It is at the bottom of the document, Andrew. And why don't you just read out where everything fell from the last time we did Andrew Lloyd Webber, which I believe was Cinderella a few months ago.
Okay, yeah. So in A tier, which this is,
it's on a curve.
It's on a curve, I guess, but it's A tier is the top. So there is no, like, some tier lists do S tier. There's no S. There's nothing above A. A is the top.
And you've also said that this is on a curve because your Andrew or your Sondheim A list would have been like S list for this one. Like everything would be dropped down if you were on the same level.
Yeah, because I don't think any of Webber's are quite as good as the best of Sondheim.
Nope.
But okay, so this is A tier. We have Evita, Joseph, and Jesus Christ Superstar, which I still stand by. I think all three of those. These are not ordered, by the way. This is the top.
Yeah.
B is Sunset Boulevard and Phantom. C is Cats and Cinderella. And D is Starlight Express and Love Never Dies.
So where does By Jeeves fit in this ranking list, Andrew?
I gotta be honest, I think it has to go in C tier.
Really? That is the most
Yeah.
shocking. I am shooketh.
There's like passable music and like I laughed like twice. And like Love Never Dies is like offensive to me. And Starlight Express is just the worst thing ever.
Another Joseph Evans Green request, dare I remind you?
Yeah, Starlight Express is just like so abysmally awful that I can't I can't even express it. I feel like this, if I was to compare this to anything else, it probably would be something like Cinderella. But I'm torn because I do want to put it in D tier because it has the crime of making me extremely confused at who is who, which I absolutely hate when that happens.
And it's also not funny. Like, even Cinderella got a cute few chuckles out of you.
Yeah, I think really what it is the Hello song, and the American character that's obsessed with jelly is kind of keeping it at a D tier for me. I think that those two, I don't know. I would make a new tier for D+, but I'm not going to.
That's
By
Disney
Jeeves
Plus, so you can't do that.
By Jeeves is going into oh my goodness, what am I typing? By Jeeves is going into C tier.
All right, that's the saddest information because honestly, this is probably one of the worst things we've covered on the show for me, at least.
I don't blame you, but I honestly don't know. Starlight Express? Do you remember sitting through that?
I do. I sat through it multiple times, Andrew.
I don't remember sitting through that. I remember By Jeeves. I think I'll be able to remember By Jeeves in like a month.
We can't even talk about what the plot is in a cohesive way. Starlight Express, it's like, oh yeah, there's trains racing.
I feel like that's the worst part, though. Like, do you remember Starlight Express? They just did the train race like 5 times.
Yes.
Like, that's so bad. That
At least they had a
so
stage
bad.
gimmick. This has nothing.
This has a stage gimmick.
It's not. Don't say the banjo.
It's the whole, like, everyone is pretending, like, everyone is supposed to be part of this banjo concert, but now they're part of... That's the gimmick. I don't know.
If there's any one positive thing I can say about this show, and literally there is just one positive thing, it's that Donna Lynn Champlin is in it, and I love her, and she is very, very good. She is an American that does a great British accent. I love her and everything. She's great in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
All right, hang on. Let me express my thoughts a little better, I think.
Okay.
Starlight Express made me feel like depressed and like dead inside. And Love Never Dies makes me feel exactly the same way. By Jeeves, I think the tone alone allows it to be higher for me.
I understand that at least. That's a good defense where with those ones, the tone alone saved that for me because at least it's a weird thing where if it's a comedy and it's not funny, it makes me more angry. But if they're a drama that isn't funny but is boring at worst, I am more tolerable of it.
See, no, but this is cheesy. Like, the only thing this has going for it is it's cheesy, whereas Starlight Express is, like, it should be cheesy, but it's, like, completely lacking in the cheese department. Like, it's just, there is no cheese.
Bree, whose
And Love
side do
Never
you think
Dies.
you'd be on?
We're arguing whether or not this should be in the bottom tier or in the trash tier, so...
Well, so it's funny that you guys say that because I was looking at Andrew Lloyd Webber's, all his musicals ranked. And so this list I was looking at, 1 to 18, By Jeeves was ranked number 7.
Right in the... What's whoa!
Right in the middle. So that's about a C.
What is the lowest one, though? Woman in White?
Starlight Express.
Okay.
See, I agree with that.
Let me
like
pull it
100%.
back up.
I think Starlight Express is probably the worst thing that I've watched that wasn't We Will Rock You.
Yeah. What did you said? The Woman in White was number 10.
Jeez, that.
I haven't seen it, so
Jess always talks about it like it's the worst thing he's done, but it's
like
number
the
10.
most comedic one. Like it's just a ridiculous failure. Where's Aspects of Love on it?
Number 8. And School of Rock is 9.
Oh no, School of Rock is below by Jeeves on this list?
Yep.
Oh no, that's so bad. That's
Guys,
so bad.
You know what? I think it's time for us to do something else. We're a little short of an episode here. I don't quite want to end it yet, so how about we play a BuzzFeed quiz, just so we can say we've done something with our lives today.
Okay.
So we're gonna take a BuzzFeed quiz just to end this episode, and the quiz is, what Andrew Lloyd Webber musical are you? And this is gonna be answered collectively. We're not each gonna take one, so we're all gonna vote as an answer.
Okay.
I feel like we should all
Are we
take
like
it.
alternating?
Okay.
Are we like alternating the answers, or?
That would be fun. All right, I'll go first. So, cheers to the freaking weekend. We can find you, A, throwing the most epic party yet, studying for that big presentation or memorizing lines. It's hard to say. Your plans tend to change. Well, I think I'd probably be studying for that big presentation and memorizing lines. All right, what's the next one? All right, Bree, what's this next one?
Right now, you would say your greatest goal is living with passion, achieving your dream job, never letting others determine who you are, finding your one true soulmate, making a difference in the world.
Well, what do you got?
Right now I'm living with passion.
Hell yeah. All right, Andrew, what's the next one?
All right. Choose your dream home.
It's just, there's 4 images of houses. There's like an old castle-y one. There's like a rustic, old-timey
Cottagecore.
village one.
Very
There's
minimalist.
like Tony Stark's house and then a fucking shitty apartment.
I'm gonna say the little cottage. I think
I would choose that one.
the other two are too extravagant, and honestly, I don't think I want to live in an apartment building. So
Yeah. All right. Oh, my question is, you resonate most with these lyrics. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Let the memory live again. Keep on rocking each note. Grab it by the throat. Keep the rhythm afloat. Don't forget to emote. We are still waiting, still hesitating. Any dream will do. Couldn't stay all my life down at heel, looking out of the window, staying out of the sun. All I want is freedom, a world with no more night, and you always beside me. Okay, this is actually rough. Which one do you think I should do? As my 2 closest confidants.
I would pick the bottom one personally.
Honestly, I think I'm the Evita quote, to be honest. Yeah, that's it. I don't want to be trapped inside forever. All right, Bree, are you a leader or a follower?
So I'm either a faithful follower, a leader through and through. You're more of a lone wolf. I am a leader through and through.
Hell yeah.
A beta, an alpha, or a sigma.
Andrew, what's next?
Your reaction when someone wrongs you. Let's see, I can talk it out with a group of friends. Express my anger through art or music. Move past it. You have better things to do than be mad. Forgive the person almost immediately. Hold a long-term grudge. Honestly, probably the third one. Move past it.
All right.
That's the
No,
fourth
No, not
one.
forgive. Not forgive immediately. I don't forgive immediately,
Yeah,
but
that's fair. All right. Choose a style of music. Rock opera, traditionally Broadway tune style, hymns, music specific to a culture, calypso, country, etc. Rock and roll. Shit. Probably rock opera. All right, Bree.
Money is low and you find cash on the street. What do you do? Hell, I keep it, but what is my option? It depends on your mood. Take it without a thought. You have to do what's best for you. Look for its owner. They must be nearby. You take it, but then you put it back in case the owner comes back. No, I'm taking it. If no
Right.
one is around, but if someone's around, I'm going to look for them. But if no one's around.
yeah, I'm gonna look for them and make sure they don't see me take it.
Exactly, Andrew. Times are tough out here.
All right, Andrew.
You can spend one day in a different decade. Which do you choose? Okay. Damn, that's not many choices. 1980s or 1970s?
Or right now?
Well, I mean, I guess I'd rather live right now because
Racism's a little better.
Everyone I know lives right now too. I feel like I'd be kind of lonely in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how dramatic am I? Well, I like how they don't even give me like a 4. I have an 8 will do, a solid 3, 5, 10 all the way. Fuck, what do you guys think?
You?
Yeah.
I'd
say you're
5.
You're a 5 or an 8.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting. Oh, I think that's the last question then. We're Evita!
Oh, good. I get to be a fascist.
Yeah, we're fascists, guys. We did it.
We did it.
Evita was number 1 on that list.
I mean, Evita is Andrew Lloyd Webber's best musical, so.
I guess that makes sense why I was number 1 on that list.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show. I recently found a clip of Patti LuPone talking about it, where she's like, Madonna cannot act her way out of a paper bag. She is shit. She cannot sing. I hated it. And I thought Madonna was fine. But guys, what is our overall thoughts on By Jeeves and our cheese rating? Andrew, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. I guess I'm gonna say I didn't like it, mostly because it wasn't funny and it failed to supply any banjo, which, I mean, those are 2 of the greatest crimes that a musical can commit, to be honest. The music was like fine, I guess. Don't watch it. It's just not good. It's not worth your time. It really just isn't. As far as cheese, I mean, if I can give this thing any compliments, it is that it's cheesy. It just fails to actually supply any entertainment. So I'm gonna give it let's see, Stilton cheese, which is a British cheese, and it sounds stilted like the comedy in this show.
Yeah. All right, Bree, what do you think?
I don't want to watch By Jeeves. I was already confused when you guys were trying to explain it to me, so I don't think I would have.
Imagine watching.
Yeah. I don't think I could probably watch it. But this episode was fun. We had fun. I had fun playing the Buzzfeed quiz. I had fun looking at that tier list and Andrew's tier list. But since I never want to watch By Jeeves, I'm gonna give it a moldy goat cheese because I already don't like goat cheese, and so I think if you make it moldy, it's just really like, no.
That's fair. Hold on, guys. I know with my cheese ratings, I tend to give you whack as fuck facts about it too.
Okay.
So my cheese rating is pig's milk cheese, which is a thing done by the Blue Pig Company. So I don't know if you know this, but pigs are notoriously difficult to milk. Let me read you some of this. They're a nightmare to milk, with the female sows not liking human contact and having 8 to 14 small teats to milk, which in turn only gives them a little amount of milk for 15 seconds at a time. However, they do create a cheese that is higher in fat than cow's milk and provides interesting flavors, which is perfect to make cheese. So
basically you're saying that your cheese rating is that they had to torture a pig to get this show.
Yep. And because he dresses as a pig and everyone sings about a pig and I want to fucking die.
They all think that he's really a pig, it seems like. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, the costume was really, really effective. I mean,
it was so, real.
Fuck By Jeeves. You know who definitely doesn't like By Jeeves? Our patrons. Thank you guys for listening. Please follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher at Musicals with Cheese. We're on Patreon at Musicals with Cheese. So if you want to recommend us some better shows, or at least something that we'll have some fun things to say, come join us over at Patreon, please. Recommend better shows. Recommend more interesting shows, please. We're on Instagram, YouTube, and all that at Musicals with Cheese. We have a Patreon-only podcast called Patreon with Cheese, where we're covering TV shows. We're talking about Encore on there. It's a lot of fun. Me and Andrew also do commentaries on there. That's great, too. Email us at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Our title card is created by the amazing Jolene Casco. Go follow them on Instagram at Jolene Casco. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. Thank you, Juliet. This show is produced by the wonderful, the incredible, one of my favorite people on the entire planet, Brianna Jones. Our theme songs were created by Robin Nash of IOU Music UK. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform and for not kicking us off for talking about By Jeeves, because god damn it, there are so many better musicals we could be talking about. Like, I'm just imagining like our download numbers like crashing into the ground and they're like, oh, By Jeeves? Really?
Jeeves.
You did the producers last week and that was so much fun, and By Jeeves? Really?
Indeed, sir.
It's number 9 or whatever, 8 on the 7 as the best Andrew Lloyd Webber shows.
That I feel like that's very strange, like strangely high on the list.
I clapped because it was different.
Very cool.
Very cool. All right, anything else we have left to say?
What if this was Joseph Evans Green's favorite musical and you guys just shit on it?
Well, good for them. We have your money either way. Come on.
It's
come on.
definitely not. There is no way. This is no one's favorite show. I'm sorry.
It might even be like, oh, I kind of like it. You're like, oh, it's just kind of my thing. No one's favorite show.
Nobody is like out here like, yeah, that's the one.
By Jeeves
Jeeves.
revival.
Yeah, when's the By Jeeves revival? This time they actually use the banjo.
Steve Martin plays plays Wooster.
It's sad that Steve Martin could have made this show better.
Have you guys watched The Beautiful Game?
What?
The Beautiful Game? That's number 16 on this list.
I've never even heard of that. Someone will probably request it on Patreon. I'll be like, God damn it!
Andrew Lloyd Webber has 2 good shows, and he's just famous for it, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he has 2.5. I'll give Phantom the half.
Like the Phantom is the half, okay.
What would be the other half? Do you have another one? Sunset, maybe?
I mean, I think if we're being, like, stretching the term good a bit, you could say, like, Sunset, Phantom, Evita,
Superstar.
Jesus Christ, Superstar, and maybe Joseph is in there as like a meme.
I really can't wait for you to rewatch Joseph on your own this time and be like, man, it just didn't do it for me.
Oh, I still listen to the soundtrack.
You really do?
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's so funny.
There's one more angel in heaven. There's one more tear
the Go-Go
in my-
song.
Go,
The
go,
Go-Go
go,
song gets me
Joseph.
every
Da-da-da-da.
time. Every time. Love it.
I
get
cannot
enough.
stand it. And that song follows him like being like, "Yo, Mr. Baker, your execution date's set. Go, go, go,
Yeah.
Joseph! Da-da-da-da."
It's so bad that I can't not love it. It's just
Bree, we might have to do a Patreon episode of just you and me talk about Joseph.
Okay. By Jeeves
Damn, you
is number
can't-
6 on this other list.
Where's Joseph
Number
on that
6?
list?
how are these people ranking? So
Joseph's-
is By Jeeves?
Joseph is number 4
Is there-
on both of these lists.
You're kidding, right?
So is there like a bunch of like absolute trash tier like Lloyd Webber shows that we don't even know about?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, so
Bottom up, Bree. Let's do it from the bottom.
one says disqualified on this list. So Cricket
Why is it disqualified?
was never recorded. And
Oh,
most of its songs were used later.
like Andrew Lloyd Webber wants to do.
And The Wizard of Oz
Yeah,
was disqualified.
because he only wrote like 3 songs for it, and then called it Andrew Lloyd Webber's Wizard of Oz, and just had all the original movie songs, and then 2 songs he wrote.
Okay, so number 17 on this list is Love Never Dies.
Okay, okay, technicality, I get it, but fuck you.
Number 16 is The Woman in White.
Hey, at least that one gets like the reputation I think it deserves.
Number 15 is Stephen Ward.
That was like a big passion project for him for a while. All right, what else?
14 is Aspects of Love.
That one was a big
Where?
flop.
Starlight Express getting up there, huh?
Number 13 is The Likes of Us.
Yeah, that one's bad.
Number 12 is Whistle Down the Wind.
Oh, I forgot that one existed.
Starlight Express still not on this list.
Number 11 is Starlight Express.
Oh my god, number 11.
By Jeeves hasn't even come up yet. All right, what's number 10?
The Beautiful Game.
Never heard of it.
Rewritten as The Boys in the Photograph.
Still don't know it.
Okay.
Didn't help at all.
Number 9 is Tell Me on a Sunday.
Yeah, I know that one.
Number 8 is School of Rock. Number
Worse than By
7.
Jeeves.
Number 7 is Cats.
Cats is worse than By Jeeves? I feel like I'd still rather watch Cats.
Yeah, I think I would as well. The dancing is at least interesting.
Number 6 is By Jeeves. Number 5 is Sunset Boulevard. Number 4 is Joseph. Number 3 is Phantom of the Opera. And then Jesus Christ Superstar. And number 1, Aveda.
I get it. That's a fair list when you get to like the halfway point. You know what? We'll see you next time.
We're gonna have to cover all of those someday.
Get on Patreon. Force us to do it at gunpoint.
That was an old list too. They didn't even have Cinderella, did they?
No, Cinderella wasn't on there.
No, Cinderella wasn't on either of them. So the one I just did was from 2015, and the one from before was from 2020.
I feel like Cinderella would probably be around like School of Rock.
I think it would be above By Jeeves.
I think so.
Maybe.
I think it would be. Cinderella got really good reviews. I think that's something we often forget, but it got really good reviews.
It wasn't bad.
Well, we're done here.
We'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese. Bye-bye. By Jeeves, by Jeeves, by Jeeves, by Jeeves, by Jeeves, by
This isn't even a song.
Jeeves,
He
by
just made this up.
Jeeves, by Jeeves.